They always come back. Yesterday I got a text from an ex. He wasn't really an ex. It was more of a situationship, casual kind of thing. We started out as friends, where we became really good friends, but there was always something between us, and then we explored that. But from my side, I didn't really have strong feelings for him, and I don't think he had strong feelings for me, although he said that at some point he had really strong feelings for me. I don't know when that was, because he never told me.
Say what now, what now?
Alright, freaky eyes, let me see if I can get this straight here. You had absolutely no idea that this dude had feelings for you because he never told you. Sorry, sister, that dog just ain't gonna hunt. Modern women have been making it abundantly clear for the last couple of decades that men just need to instinctively know what women are thinking based on no clear-cut communication whatsoever. But at the same time, women don't need to be held to the same kind of standard, and in your eyes, you find that to be completely reasonable. And what really terrifies me is how there are tens of thousands of modern women out there who completely understand what this square-headed broad is talking about, and they also have the right to vote.
And then basically I started seeing someone else, and I told him about it, and then afterwards our friendship kind of crumbled. He showed up to my birthday with 2 of his friends and only talked to his friends that he brought the whole evening. It was really awkward and also kind of disrespectful.
This is just so shocking. I mean, I must just be so monumentally naive.
You are.
Wow, that is absolutely insane. It's not the fact that your friend wasn't talking the whole night. That's actually to be expected. You broke his heart by shacking up with another dude while completely disregarding his feelings. How else would you expect him to react? You found this behavior to be extremely disrespectful, but at no point did you even imagine the idea of him showing up to your crappy party. Must have felt like taking a punch to the gut after taking a kick to the nards. So naturally, he's gonna have his buddies with him for support, because frankly, modern women are incredibly selfish, whereas men who follow the sacred right of brotherhood will follow a higher path.
Brothers before wars, David.
He showed up to my birthday with 2 of his friends and only talked to his friends that he brought the whole evening. It was really awkward and also kind of disrespectful. So we haven't heard from each other in almost a year. And yesterday he texts me and he's like, I had a dream about you. I want to talk on the phone. I want to see how you are, which is the most random thing because I feel like our friendship ended when he didn't reach out anymore and he didn't even say anything about what happened and didn't really bother. You've never told me that you had feelings for me. You expected me to read your mind, and also you didn't really try. Sorry.
Okay, God, let me have it!
Woman, you literally just said that you didn't have feelings for the guy. You don't believe me? Well, here's the receipt you printed.
But from my side, I didn't really have strong feelings for him.
So let me ask you this. How is it that this guy, who clearly had feelings for you, God only knows why, somehow didn't put in enough effort to make things official when you weren't interested in the first place? And on top of all of this, how are you the victim? You broke things off with him and completely destroyed him the very second a different dude became available for your banging purposes. The only person who didn't put in enough effort to make things work was you because you didn't want to. But you'll disregard your own words and the blatant truth just so you can be right. Because at the end of the day, that's all you'll ever have.
You blew it. Capiche?
Story time. My dating life is a very interesting experience. I started a new job at this restaurant and I saw this guy and I picked him out and I was like, that one. I want that one, mommy. So I decided to talk to him and get to know him. He seemed pretty nice and respectful, so I was like, okay. I was looking for a roommate at the time. And so I tell him that I'm looking for a roommate. Oh, I'm looking for a roommate too. You should come live with me. I'm like, maybe let's get to know each other. You know. Skipping ahead, it's New Year's and he's asking me to come on this trip with him to St. George. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to see my mom, my dad. But in the moment, I'm thinking, I'm not gonna pass that up. Of course I want, but
Jesus, she is terrifying.
So you concocted a needless plot to try to get with your coworker. That doesn't make your dating life interesting. It actually makes you kind of stupid. Outside of the human resources nightmare that you're bringing into the workplace, if things go wrong, then you're more or less starting a needless civil war amongst the staff by forcing them into your meaningless drama. There's a reason why men tend to not dip their pens in your company ink pot of oozing insanity, if you will. So lady, I'm feeling a little generous today, so I'm gonna give you some advice, even though it will fall on deaf ears. You need to lay off the energy drinks and cough syrup. There are people who would be worried about you if they actually cared about what you were saying.
So we start listening to music, and I bring up, I'm like, you know, I never really told you I liked you because I thought you were dating this person. He's like, no, I never dated her. She's cool though. I see an opportunity. And I say, what about this other girl? I heard you. He's like, who told you about that?
That was in the past. And suddenly he says, you know, if I'm gonna be with a woman, I like them to be shaven.
I'm sorry. You did not just say that to me. We weren't even planning on hooking up at all. And I like it when your mom is shaven. But we all don't get what we want sometimes, do we?
I must have missed 60 minutes. What are you saying?
Alright, so the guy has preferences. So what? Why is it that your preferences are sacred, but the second you disagree with a man's preferences, that somehow makes him a hateful bigot? Oh wait, that's right, I forgot. Because you're so insecure that you can't handle any form of rejection, and your fantasies are shattered the second you hear something with which you mildly disagree. I'm willing to bet that this dude can't be with a woman who's a completely spastic, unfunny copper top with basic hygiene issues. A woman who thinks that annoying high-pitched voices and spastic editing techniques somehow pass for personality traits. Just admit that you're butthurt that this dude prefers a woman who shaves her legs and you're too cheap to buy razors. It'll save us a lot of time.
So he starts asking about me trying to get to know me, and I start asking him about his life.
To be sure, I'm like, so you're not dating her or anyone else?
And he says, no, she's not even looking for a relationship. I don't wish, no. And he goes silent for the rest of the trip. After that point, he continued to like me, being so awkward, staring at me from across the room. And then he just started getting angry at me because of something else that I did. Because of that whole spiel, to spite him, I thought, I'm gonna fuck roommate number 3. If you're not supposed to fuck them, then why are they there then?
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Yeah, take that, completely innocent dude. That'll show him. Lady, I don't think you know how to be spiteful. How is banging a dude's roommate supposed to spite the dude when he's already made it clear he's more interested in another woman? I don't think you thought this through, because all you've done is show this guy that you're insanely easy and that he successfully dodged a massive bullet. You did it because, well, let's not mince words. You're an idiot. Because only an idiot thinks that raising her already concerning body count by an extra notch will somehow spite a dude who barely wanted anything to do with her in the first place.
Oh, she left me and I was blindsided. They're not blindsided. That's a crock of shit. They've been pushing your limits the entire time, and then you finally reach them and they go, oh my god, I'm blindsided. That's just more gaslighting. Think about it. If some dude was playing Russian roulette, he had like a chamber, there's one chamber has a bullet, you know. He plays Russian roulette and the gun goes off. Oh, I'm so blindsided. I never expected that would happen. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
You're not just wrong, you're stupid. Now wait just a minute. And you're ugly, just like your mum.
You couldn't be more wrong if you tried, woman. The bureaucratic institution of marriage is like playing Russian roulette, except over the years, the rules changed with more and more bullets being added to the cylinder, with the only player being the husband. Women initiate around 80% of divorces, and men, for the most part, are genuinely blindsided when this woman they've sworn a lifelong oath of loyalty to turns around and begins legal proceedings to rip his life apart. Meanwhile, the wife will turn around and bend reality to the point where she can see herself as a victim as she cashes in regular alimony checks. This is why more and more men are ducking out of the legalized extortion scheme known as marriage.
Basically, what these dudes are doing, again, that all of this nonsense they do with you is to try to get you to take their respect. They're also pushing your limits and they're pushing your boundaries, because that's part of the dominant submissive relationship, is to see exactly how far they can push you.
Like, people talking, they say, huh? What are you talking about?
How miserable they can make you in the relationship, yet you'll still stay. So when you up and leave, the only thing that's happened is the game is ended. Their time has run out. They're not blindsided. They're just like, aw, damn. Pushed her a little too far that time.
And you get a reaction from people who say, huh? What are you talking about?
I wish someone could tell me where women got this notion that men have nothing better to do than waste their time with waging psychological warfare against their significant others. Where are women thinking we have the time to plan out these diabolical things? Do they think men just meet up in hollowed out volcano caves to discuss methodology on how to make the lives of our wives miserable? That's just not how it works, because we're too busy working and wondering if we can beat the speed run record for Bionic Commando. And that's way more important than trying to come up with ways to drive you insane. Besides, the sisterhood of women have been blatantly sabotaging each other's relationships for centuries. You honestly do not need our help in that regard.
But yeah, no, they're not blindsided. It's just more gaslighting. Because they finally pushed you to your limit, and now they have to act like, oh, I had no idea. Because they were pretending when they met you. The middle of the relationship is where you get to see who they are. At the end, they go back to pretending. So they have to pretend to be blindsided to their family, to their friends, to everybody else, because they can't say, well, I just, messed with her for the last however many years, and she finally lost it and left me. They're not going to tell the truth, so they're going to go, oh, I was blindsided. Oh.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
So you're just blaming the opposite side for your crimes. Men typically don't make up these kind of elaborate plots. Again, we don't have that kind of time. But you know who does? Modern women. They create an elaborate persona for men to fall in love with, only for them to turn around and unravel the second they get a commitment and make that man's life a living hell simply for an easy paycheck. And then, to add insult to injury, you then post TikTok cringe blaming men for your manipulation tactics. It's an ugly thing to do, but I guess it's only fitting for an ugly plan to be unveiled by a woman who's just as ugly on the inside as she is on the outside. That's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. As always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button and ring the notification bell so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, and until next time, peace out, homies.